guys, how we doing? Welcome back to Pommyinoz. If you are new around here, please like and subscribe. We're about to crack 180, meaning we're 20 off the target this month of hitting 200. So please do that. It means the world to me. And for the second week in a row, we get to see Happy Pom, because my beloved Blue Baggers beat the old enemy, the big scum, Essendon, by 1 point yesterday evening. And boy, oh boy, was it a ripper of a game. We really are starting to bring a bit of intensity to the game. We're starting to look more like an accomplished football side. And what I will say about that game is that game had all the hallmarks of a game that my beloved Blue Boys lose. We dominate one quarter in the third, don't take our chances, let the opposition kick 2 goals, and we become like the old tortoise and retract in our shell. But no, the boys stood up, and I thought that was a more impressive win for me than Geelong, because they're the type of games that Carlton traditionally lose. Every dog gets lucky and finds a bone once in a while, and you could put that down to the Geelong game, but this was an assured performance, and we had a lot of things going against us. You had Zach Merritt go full Essendon thug and late hit. I know it doesn't look like there's much in it, but I mean, you don't break a rib and bruise a lung from a love tap, do you? I mean, I've never done that, and I've done some weird stuff. And also we had the umpires. The umpires obviously on James Hird's payroll. I mean, you don't want that guy building you a fence, the umpire who gave that 50 metre, because that was about 85. I mean, you'd end up asking for a garden gate and getting Trump's wall, wouldn't you? But aside from that, there was some stand-up performances. And for me, the highlight of it was the fourth quarter to see Murphy and Doc, 2 guys that I was quite critical of in round 2 versus Melbourne, who kind of let us down when the game was on the line, really step up. And for me, I've always loved Mark Murphy. I try and be nice to him all the time if I can. He was phenomenal, but Doc for me is another level. And I got into an argument with an Essendon fan at the start of the week when I said that there is no small defender in the comp who can hold a torch to him. And that's why. I mean, when you've got them kind of numbers, you know, 30 odd touches going at the high 80s, low 90s, you're a phenomenal player, and he just adds that reliability down the back. We'll go through some individual players in a minute, but let's also talk about Cunners. I mean, you don't need Gary Ablett Jr. when you've got Cunningham. I mean, that was a wonderful performance. I know a lot of people say, what is he and stuff, but that is what he is. He's a very mercurial player, and mercurial game-breaking type players have peaks and troughs. It's well worth noting to remember as well, he hasn't played millions of games, and he definitely never has had continuity, and that is the kind of thing Cunners can bring to this table. He was in everything. I thought his first half was probably one of the best halves I've seen for a long time for anyone playing a Carlton Guernsey. He was impactful. Every touch he had made something happen. He looks to break the game open, and I really enjoy that about him. I thought the second half as well, I did enjoy him try and relive the Cootie years of picking the ball up one-handed. He fumbled it a little bit, but it was good to see, because we haven't seen that since the great man himself, Cooter, was running around back at Prince's Park. When you look at the team, it's starting to show some things, and we'll talk about the players individually now. And Eddie Betts is case in point of what I've been personally saying for the last 3 years, why you need small forwards. That first goal he took was an absolute peach. It's forward crafted at its finest. Having the savvy about you to tap the ball down onto your right peg on the goal line. Few people can do that, and it's not a learned skill. It's something that you're born with. And Eddie Betts is born with X Factor, there is no doubt about it. He had a really impactful game for me. I mean, when you look at it, 8 touches, 1 goal, two behinds, it doesn't say, wow, that's good, but he makes things happen, and he draws the ire of defenders, and you could see that he was always looking to make something happen. It's phenomenal to see Eddie Betts there. The one negative I've got about Eddie is he's probably only got this year or next year to go, and who's banging down the door? It really does make that case of getting Papley so important when you see he's one of the few players at Sydney that is worth anything. He looks the goods, but Eddie, if he can pass on some of them skills to other people, we're laughing. Levi was impeccable, and if you did the All-Australian today, Levi would be a lock. Whether he's down the back, whether he's running through the middle as a ruck, or whether he's up forward, the guy is class. That 45 metre banana is a thing of beauty. And the wonderful thing about Levi is he draws the ire of many fans, and he has done for a long time. But, you know, on his day, when it's on, he's unplayable almost. And what I love about Levi is he'll go and kick that beautiful goal, and then he'll kick it out of bounds in the next quarter. He was a little bit wasteful in that third when we really just needed someone to kick a goal, and I really do feel the game would have broken open. But all in all, phenomenal performance from Levi. I just can't get enough of it. I mean, 9 marks, man. That's ridiculous. I'm changing my name to Levi Pombo. Paddy Cripps, he was quiet. He had a run with roll with Langford, and it seems to happen when an irrelevant player has a run with roll. Cripps' influence is negated. But for me, them 20 touches were just sheer will and determination. He got us over the line. He won us some good ball when the game was on the line. And he cost me a multi that would have won a lot of money if he'd kicked a snag. But we live, we learn, don't we? I mean, Cripper, the great sign is if Cripper's not at the forefront of Carlton, we had wonderful players step up. And that is the Richmond philosophy. That is what all good teams do. If you take out their best player, there is 4 or 5 blokes who will step up. And that's all it takes to win football matches. Cunners was phenomenal. 28 touches, just the 1 tackle, 8 marks though around the ground. Do you know what I mean? That is what I'm talking about. He was good. And the meters gained tally is something that I keep saying to everyone is the most important tally in football. It's one of the only stats that mirrors who is good. And he was just gaining ball. And what was important about Cunners is he was gaining good ball. It wasn't crap ball. It wasn't just boot it aimlessly down. It was good football nous. Really enjoy Cunners' game. And I hope this is a turning point. I've said last week was the line in the sand moment. This is the turning point from Cunners. Mark my words, boys. Cunners is here. Ed Kerno, he's one riv roll with Merritt and Shield in both quarters. Shield, we didn't see him. And if you remember my Blue Abroad preview, said Dylan Shield doesn't like pressure. He's got very high disposal efficiency this season because he just basically has no one around him. Well, it went back to the old butcher of Baghdad, didn't it? And he got the old 45 disposal efficiency, and that was partly because of Ed Kerno. I'm hearing rumours that Ed Kerno went home, kissed his wife, went to the bench, emptied his pockets, pulled out car keys, a half-chewed pack of Wrigley gum, and Dylan Shield is on the mantelpiece at the moment. And he was phenomenal, Ed doing Ed things, and for me, that is what we want from our Ed Kerno. We just want him just to stop players playing, stop good players playing. I thought his role was brilliant throughout the game, and it was good, like, because Merritt, the dog of a bloke, he was nothing, was he? And the 2 blokes I mentioned, we curbed, we won the game. Sam Docherty, he's fucking good, isn't he? How good is Sam Docherty? I mean, put some respect on the name. There is no defender who is his equal. No small defender on the planet is as good as our Doc. And what makes it better is he's half Scottish, so he's half Pom. Good boy. Now, he was just phenomenal. Do you know what I mean? 32 stonking touches, 8 marks. He was in everything. And what I'm really loving is this fact that Noons now drops back and it allows Doc to play loose. Doc is an animal down back. Tell you what, take your Lairds, take your Lloyds, take your Tom Stewarts, take your Hoolies, take your Sards, put them in a little box, file it under irrelevant because Doc is here. Doc is all Australian. Doc is the best backman in the comp. We've got 2 of them. He is the best small backman in the comp, bar none. Just draw a line under it. Forget about the rest. Don't even bother checking their analytical data because they are poo bucket. It's all about Doc. Gibbons is fast becoming my favourite player. I said last year I was stoked with the pickup, and now we're playing him in the midfield. We're starting to see what he's about. He's a natural ball winner. 25 touches. He's a kick-heavy player, which is what you need in the comp. 8 marks, 5 tackles. He's a pressure machine. 507 metres gained. When you've got Doc 547, Cunners 510, and this bloke 507, you're winning football matches. The magical 1500 from 3 players. And he was just killing it. I mean, goal kicking, probably a bit of a disaster, which is why I was never a fan of him playing in the forward line as a predominant forward. But let's cut him his dues. I reckon he's a goal away from breaking out. And I reckon next week against St Kilda, you're going to see this bloke get 2. Phenomenal player. Would definitely be in the top 3 BNF, I think, this year if you did the votes. Phenomenal player. Loving Gibbons. Just everything about him. You know, 2 weeks ago, I was up here and I was in tears because we had no passion. This bloke's got passion in abundance. And God, I love it. God, I love being a Carlton fan. Liam Jones, tell you what, probably the 2nd best header I've seen since old Cristiano Ronaldo headed the winner for Real Madrid in the Champions League final. What a header. Tell you what. Tell you, if AFL, he ever wants to ditch it, There's a few Premier League clubs that could do with a centre forward with his craft with the head. But nah, he was good. I mean, you didn't really see much of Essendon's forwards, and he did his job well, decent amount of spoils, and just did his job as you do with Jones. I mean, for me, I think Wheater and Jones are the most solid combo down back. You just feel great, don't you, having them there. Jackie Martin. Yeah, I mean, Jack Martin, it wasn't his best game, 11 touches, but that goal was clutch, and Jack Martin is everything Carlton need in a football department. You need a player who can do them kind of things, clutch moments. He's going to be one of these players that drifts in and out of games. He's mercurial. He's an X-Factor player. Dustin Martin doesn't have great games all the time. No one does. But it's when it matters, and that goal was key for me. Wonderful performance from Jack. I thought he did well. It wasn't his best game, but I thought, when it mattered, he stepped up, and I love Jack Martin. Mitch McGovern, my boy. I knew you'd come good, son. I knew you'd come good. We started our weight loss journey together. Probably a good argument to say I look better, but you do it better, my friend. You do it. I wore my number 11 Guernsey with pride, and I'll tell you what, took your goal as well, fast becoming my favourite. Well, you are my favourite player. Screw it. Love you, Mitch. I'll tell you what, it was wonderful. The goal kicking now, he looks to make things happen. I do think he plays better in a two tall forward setup, and for me, McGovern and Casbolt looks a more potent duo than any other duos we have. Mark Murphy, the king, the legend. Tell you what, how anyone slates Mark Murphy is beyond me, because, just take the tackle numbers out. I mean, he had 3 this time, which has tripled his tally. But let's be honest, the guy is class. That fourth quarter, I mean, I love his peeling off. He turns into trouble just to take the piss, and then he's like, whoa, see ya, hits his targets. Love Mark Murphy, man. Honestly, if you've ever slated Mark Murphy, sort your life out. Love Mark Murphy, man. God, he's good. Isn't he? That fourth quarter was a sight to behold. Love him. Jackie Noons. Now let's talk about Jack Noons, because still people are slating him. And I feel like I've got to explain what your eyes should see. You can see now from a centre bounce he's playing on the wing, and then he peels back to the back pocket, which allows Doc the freedom to just intercept Mark. If you watch a team like Richmond or you watch a team like Geelong, you find Tom Stewart gets this benefit because they peel off a mid to allow him to run. And Noons does it well, man. I mean, he had, 3 marks, and it was decent efficiency, decent metres gained, 285, and he's playing a very defensive role, so he isn't going to get 30 touches. 13 touches is a lot doing that role. I'm really enjoying his game. I'm really enjoying it. Like, to me, I don't know who you can play that role, because I love Zach Fisher. We know I'm a big fan. He can't play that defensive role. He can't. He's that way. He's not this way. So, to me, he's a lock for this team, and I'm enjoying what Noons does, because it makes Doc a better player. And at the end of the day, Doc is getting 30-odd touches as a small defender, so you can afford to lose 10 in the midfield. SPS, it was another okay game from SPS. I'm enjoying his role. He's starting to now learn a bit more. If you watched his role, he's more in a lockdown role now, which kind of negates his influence, but he's doing very well at it. I mean, tenacious efforts, 3 tackles, 162. I would like to see him take off a bit more, but 5 marks, man. Like, he's really earned that down the back row. Phil P, I enjoy his pressure. He was a little bit nervous when he was like a rabbit in the headlights. But there's enough there to say to me we've got one hell of a footballer. Pace, the chase down, the willingness to put your body over the line for someone so young was really a highlight for me. He's going to be one hell of a player as we go forward. I mean, it's unfair to criticise him. It's his first game, man. But a bit fumbly, but he looks to play, doesn't he? He's a little tackle machine. He really looks to get involved. I'm excited about seeing where he can go. Pitternet, my boy, picked him up in my dynasty draft this week. Him and Jack Martin, booyah. Tell you what, them sockers in the fourth, his second and third efforts. This guy is a gun. An absolute unit of a bloke. Probably was 50-50 in the opening quarter. But for me, his ability to get the ball forward at all costs is next level. And if you look at teams that have won flags in the last decade, your Richmond, your Hawthorn, these guys have a mentality of get the ball forward, whether it's a paddle, whether it's a kick, because it invites pressure that we stream really well. We do look very Richmond-esque going forward. Piternet's soccers in the fourth were a key. His second, third and his fourth efforts are next level. His ability to mark around the ground, his work ethic. I've got no higher accolade for Mike Pitternet. The guy is an absolute superstar already in my book. Love the guy. Brilliant player. Lockie Plowman, let's talk about Plowers. You know what? I sit here and I want to defend Plowman because I froth Plowman. And he did really well. Like, if you look at his role, he was on stringer in the first. We never saw him. But it's when he makes a mistake, and it's some of the mistakes he makes, I'm sat there going, really? But he's influential to the team. He plays a lot down role. Traditionally as well, if you watch Plowman, he seems to have the more awkward player. So when he makes a mistake, chances are, like, he goes on your Camerons, your Walters, your Stringers. These are the kind of guys that when there is a mistake, they kick goals. And I don't know. I don't know where to take Plowman. I'm going to be honest with you. I just don't. Like, he's a very good player. For me, he's very influential. You don't finish top 3 in the BNF for nothing. The players froth him. They talk about his effort. Just, it's his mistakes, isn't it? I mean, like, for me, if I took them 2 mistakes he made out, it was a phenomenal, faultless game. But them 2 mistakes cost us goals. He's very good at what he does, though. For me, I think it's harsh that we criticise him because at the end of the day, we won. But I feel if he'd lost, would have been a struggle. I would say that Marchbank's probably a lock when he's fit to take his position because they are getting some mistakes. But, I mean, for me, all in all, I enjoyed Plowman's game apart from them errors because he does some wonderful stuff. He's like being in a relationship with someone that's toxic. When it's good, it's good. When it's bad, it's fucking woeful. But who knows? Setters, my boy, Set Feedies. I tell you what, I'm loving he's starting to come into the game now, and it's interesting to see the last couple of games where Cripper's gone quiet. This guy's broke out. Very clean in the contest, very physical, and I'm enjoying the physicality that I'm starting to see. Getting his head over the ball, putting his body on the line. It's what it means to wear this bloody jersey, and that is what I'm on about. Silvani's long, cracked rib. Can't really judge him. I mean, to win that game minus Silvani's forward pressure is huge, and players stepped up. Heartbroken for the lad though, because I mean Silvani deserves of all players to play in Carlton Dobbs. Cade Simpson, tell you what, he was reliable in the fourth. Seeing him come up to the wing was yesteryear. Cade Simpson, very reliable, very, very steady workhorse. Probably still best 22, isn't he? And I mean that says a lot about Cade Simpson at his age. He was phenomenal in the fourth. He really did a job well. Kept his man to next to nothing, and he looks an attacking threat. Sammy Walsh returns to form. You can never doubt the Walsh dog. 275 metres gained. Tell you what, he's becoming a marking beast though, isn't he? 7 marks for a midget. Solid work. But 24 touches, decent efficiency in the 65s. It's where you want it minimum. I like Walsh, and I think Walsh is just a couple of games away from really hitting that form. He likes the ball, and we got the ball to him this time, and we got the ball into him in not suicidal positions. I mentioned it last week against Geelong. Sometimes he gets a handball and he's like literally going to get crunched, and then we're saying, why is he not impacting the game? Look at Bailey Smith, look at Rosie. These guys get the ball as well in open field, and Walsh was damaging. I really enjoyed Walsh's game. Wheaters, tell you what, we said we had 2 of the best defenders in the comp. Here's the other one, best key defender in the comp. Harris Andrews, mug compared to this bloke. Love Wheaters. Wheaters is just a rock down back, isn't he? Got a lot of time for Wheaters, man. Give Wheaters some love. Wonderful. Willow, I'm so excited to see Willow back. I'm enjoying everything he does. 5 marks, decent metres gained, 15 touches. I tell you, he's a little arsehole, isn't he? And I froth it. It's like my favourite kid is David. He's the biggest arsehole of all my kids. I just love an arsehole, man. What can I say? And he's a dick. I love it. Bumps, mongrel, crap haircut. Literally, if you built a footballer, Tom Williamson's it. I mean, all in all, if I'm going to give 3, 2, 1 votes, 3 votes goes to my boy Doc, 2 votes goes to Connors, and 1 vote goes to Levi. I love a bit of Levi. All in all, I'm a happy little Pom. Tell you what, we talked a couple of weeks ago about how important this monogram is. And for me, it's the most iconic one in sport. And these boys now are really starting to earn the stripes. They're starting to show what it's about. It ain't easy to play as anymore. And if you do come and play as, you're going to have a fight. And I thought this was a big win. All we need now is we've won one game that we shouldn't have done. We've won one game where we've clung on and grinded it out against adversity, against umpires, against shit kicking, against everything. And now all we got to do is just dominate a performance. But it's getting good because the first quarter is setting it up. Our intent, it's Cripper nudging the ball. I knew it was going to be a good game when I got my M&M blue jersey that I bought that was a medium, and I put it on for banter and it fit. Just know, this is the year, boys. Get on the train. Get tickets. Get to Optus, because we're playing grand final football this year, ladies and gentlemen. We're back. Melbourne is blue. And you know what? Every week we have a bit of a song, so I thought I'm going to give you a new one. Ready? I never felt more like singing the blues. Carlton win. Richmond lose. Carlton. You got me singing the blues. That's it, ladies and gentlemen. Hopefully next week we'll have another win against my wife's team against St Kilda, so I can't wait to be happy Pom for 3 times in a row as we go for 3 wins. Have a wonderful week, ladies and gentlemen. I've got some great surprises. I've got a special guest coming up next week. Have a wonderful week. Pom out.